Hello and welcome to the short presentation on net design, structural planning in 5 steps. In the first step, I would like to briefly explain the steps which we will have to take in the net design to create a structural plan. The first step is the import of the source data or the basic data. In this case, georeference building points and street center lines. It is followed by the pre-processing steps where the possible routes are created. The possible routes are the links between the road center line and the building points. The validation ensures that the imported data is without any errors. The most significant part or the heart of the net design is the design rules. Here you could create the planning rules and customize to your requirements. The last step is the calculation, where the network is calculated from the customer point to the backbone point, and the result is a network plan and a material list. Let's have a quick look. Step 1. Import of the source data. One can import the source data from the import dialog. Select the format of the source data. You have multiple options here, choosing Excel for instance, and then choose the appropriate file. In this dialog, you have to map the input attributes from the source data to the attributes which you want to be used in the design for the address points. Once the attributes have been mapped, you can click on the import. In the same manner, I would import the street center lines. Once the data has been imported, it could be viewed in the graphic window of AutoCAD Map 3D. And one can open the form or the record of the feature using a double click, in this case the address point or the demand point, and the data could be viewed or altered in this case. So this was the first step. So once all the import of the source data is finished, one can move to the pre-processing step. And the option is here. So this is automatic pre-processing, and I would proceed for the underground pre-processing step for the project. One can see the progress log in this window. Once the pre-processing step is finished, one can see that the possible routes on both the sides of the street central line is created, and a line which connecting the possible route to the demand point or the address point has been connected. So the basis of the network is made. Once the pre-processing is finished, one can continue with the project validation. And we could scan the project for the problems. It scans the project for any points mentioned here. And the user could navigate to the points and correct them. A right click could be used for that option to navigate or to correct the data. So once the validation is finished, we can move to the optimizer setting. That's the definition of the design rule. In the optimizer setting or the design rule, one can define all the details which the optimizer should use to automatically calculate the project or to prepare the network. So the technology, and if the project has to use the common ducts and the ducts type, and so for the different layer, for the demand, active and spare fibers, also for the distribution, the ducts type, or the cable type, for instance, or the number of fibers and the reserves and so on. And also the material could be defined and with regards to its cost. So this would help for the bill of material preparation. So once the design rule is defined, one can click on calculate. This step would ensure that the design rule are taken into consideration for the optimized calculation of the network. You could see the status of the or the progress of the calculation in this window. So from demand to drop, distribution, and so on. So the result for the structural planning is here, and you have the resultant trenches, which has ducts and cables in it for each demand point, and the fibers have been already assigned, and also the pop locations and the distribution locations with the clusters have been generated automatically. And of course, the bill of materials. So bill of material could be seen with the civil work and with the distribution of the cost for drop, distribution, and feeder. And also there is sheet for each pop or for the DPs. So each DPs, how much cost it would take, and so on. And also user has the ability to intervene into the automatic calculation and optimization, and he could change or alter the data and do a recalculation. So this ends here the structural planning in the design, and our TKI team would be at your disposal for any further queries. Thank you.